Welcome to DRTSPR show. This is Dr. Tangella Shiva Prasad Reddy alias Dr. TSPR. Namaste, Adab, hello, and a very, very important and special session. I warmly welcome the people or the citizens of India as well as citizens of United States of America and as well as the world, because the world is looking at what's happening in America on the Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi's visit to America, and he has addressed the joint sessions there. So is it the same which has been happening with India and America? Two large democracies, people participatory constitutional democracies, a bit different presidential form of governance democracy there in America, whereas we have the people elected prime minister, the party in majority elects the prime minister, and the MPs and so on, Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha, and similarly they have Senate and Congress. So, and then the federal structure, the states, and so on and so forth, something which is almost similar. And the people are also, they enjoy their freedom because these are democracies. So that is the reason why, क्योंकि ये लोकतंत्र के देश हैं, यहाँ पर सहज सिद्ध तरीके से नागरिक अमेरिका या भारत देश में वो स्वतंत्र रहना चाहते हैं और उसी तरह की जिंदगी बिताना चाहते हैं। और जब खासकर हमारे प्रधानमंत्री जब अमेरिका जाते हैं या अमेरिका प्रेसिडेंट यहाँ पर आते हैं, तो लोगों की दृष्टि उनके ऊपर रहती है, क्यों क्या ये दोनों देशों के लिए और दोनों प्रजाओं के लिए क्या ये एक अच्छे वातावरण लाएगा। पारिश्रमिकवेत्ता तो वो रहेंगे ही उनके साथ में। Is it going to bring good aura for both the countries wherein the people can lead a comfortable life without compromising on their freedom? Similarly, people like us, we have done a big show also, whether the freedom of press is being off because of the recent incidents. So there is always a say in Telugu, inta gelsi racha gelwale. घर पे जीतने के बाद दुनिया को जीतो आप. Win at home to conquer the world. Is it happening now? Because at this point of time, Manipur is still burning, and there is a big controversy. Adi Purush cinema Ramayanam, how they have distorted the majority Hindu-speaking belief of Ramayanam. No one speaks. BJP is silent except for Mr. Thakur's statement. They have no action. Still, the movie is running. When Nepal has banned this movie, stating clear cut that Sita belongs to that area, wrongly represented, and whereas Pakistan takes this umbrage because majority of Hindus have been suppressed, they are not protesting when their own Ram and Sita, Hanuman have been portrayed in a totally different way, in a disgusting way. They took this opportunity and they have banned holy festivities in the universities in Pakistan. That means the minorities' rights are suppressed. Neither Modi mentions, there is any mention in the American media. Because now they are offering on a platter that, see, in spite of Adi Purush backlash, that movie backlash on Ramayanam, their belief, India still is silent. Is it what that message the ruling fraternity or otherwise wanted to carry to America, American rulers, Senate, Congress, that as and when we want, we will increase the emotions, fundamentalistic emotions, and as and when we want, we can suppress them? Is this an example of Adi Purush which is being sold to the American businessmen and the politicians there? That doubt arises in every Hindu here. When you are talking about Uniform Civil Code, Population Control Bill, repeal of Religious Act, which is discrimination only against Hindus, nothing happening. And then the other important, the Orissa train accident, how many have died? Their names, their photos still. And what happened to that inquiry? No one speaks because it is the largest public transport in India. What is happening? And then there are many other local pertaining issues. When it comes to health, World Treaty, it is looming large. They are trying to enslave the world in the name of health by creating fear of another pandemic. Neither Prime Minister Narendra Modi nor President talks, nor the media of both, they don't speak. And the climate crisis, no one speaks. Such a big fallacy. Such a big fallacy. That is why both for America and India, because America is also suffering in the name of inflation. Many jobs, Mr. Biden, I will just refer only Google. Many software jobs are also gone. Banks also collapsing in America. Like what is happening in India. There is a big issue like Adani, their own Hindenburg research came up. And on the 4th of visit of Narendra Modi, he speaks to Tesla. Elon Musk, last show we have shown clearly how Elon Musk, Twitter driven, were trying to create problems for Adani because Adani was not allowing them to enter because he has already invested huge in hydrogen. And then at one go, Elon Musk meets and he says he's going to come to India to invest. But Ambani started sulking because he had good relations with them. Never fight. Is this visit only for business? It's only for capital, not for humans, this culture, and what is happening at home, both at India and America? How is that these things are not being discussed? And how different this visit is to the earlier visit of 1961 of Mr. Nehru? I'm going to show you all these things because I leave it to the understanding of the honorable citizens of both the countries. What does a visit of the state head, because he is an elected representatives, both of them, should mean to the people, to the citizens of both the countries, not to those capitalists, businessmen, or some big men of both India, big business magnates or celebrities of both India and America. Is this 1% constitute America and India? Is India going to be changed into a capitalist economy like America where they fund both the parties, Democrats as well as Republicans? Is the same thing happening in India? This is what we have been questioning. Electoral bonds have become opaque. No one can question which company, how much money it is giving to which party. Everyone is silent. Supreme Court is silent. For that reason, I wanted to show you certain things. Win at home to conquer the world. घर पे जीतना है अगर दुनिया को आप जीतना है तो इंटा गेल्सी रक्षा गेलवाले. Manipur, the rail accident of Orissa, till we do not know what's happening there. The climate severe crisis, everything is happening. And the economy, in regards to Adani, what is happening? Why public sector units are sulking? Why again we find that the banks are also getting into different state of, let us watch them now. Such big issues, Ramayanam, Adipurush, BJP, Narendra Modi, no one talks even in there. Will they keep quiet if any other religion is shown in that way? Then why the majority are keeping quiet? They don't question that. All the time minorities, forgetting the minorities' rights, how they are suppressed, how the minorities' percentage has reduced in Pakistan, Bangladesh, Afghanistan, no one. Holi is banned, festivities are banned, no one speaks. That is why I said the other side of the coin theory. When you try to suppress, the other side of the coin theory will come up. When they were talking about Karnataka, I've shown through this show, 36% BJP has got intact, though number of seats may be less. And again, the EVM controversy. Tomorrow, another 1 or 2 assemblies, if BJP lose, what if the same BJP wins back parliament, the same EVMs? And is it democracy? Are we discussing? Let me show certain things which I thought are relevant. People have every right to oppose me and they can always participate in the show. I would rather welcome them. I would honorably welcome them to participate, because to discuss, debate, differ, that is the beauty of democracy. And I would never ever say that I am absolutely right. And I will just try to show you what has happened, how they are comparing with Rahul Gandhi's and Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi's visit.
I'm going to come to Mr. Rahul Gandhi's recent visit to the US, where he spoke to Indians out there. And now the Prime Minister is going to the US. So tell me, the way Mr. Rahul Gandhi connects with the diaspora and the way Prime Minister Modi connects with the diaspora, the differences?
It goes back to that fundamental difference that I talked about. Prime Minister Modi is connecting with the diaspora. He's talking about hope, positivity, change that's possible. While if you look at Rahul Gandhi's entire rhetoric, it is all about hurt and grievance and the negativity that, this is not happening, that's not happening, India is, democracy is dying. This whole false narrative. So there is that very clear difference.
And if you were to compare Prime Minister Modi, how does he connect so well with the diaspora as compared to the earlier Prime Ministers?
Absolutely. I think what has changed with Mr. Modi is he's given the larger diaspora a sense of pride. I think that is what is making his diaspora events so successful and his diaspora connect so strong. All said and done, despite Silicon Valley, despite all these achievers, the Indian community has not had that space within the Western societies as perhaps some of the other immigrant communities have had. It's only in the last decade that it has started to change in a big way. And I think it's primarily because of Mr. Modi's connect.
So here I wanted to show them, these gentlemen, that if India is burning, who should opposition not speak? That is really something which is very pathetic, and I don't understand. I can't reason with them as to how you can be silent.
I am a fan of Modi, so.
I'll just show you all these things. You all these things. 1 second, and can't we speak? What is this nonsense going on? How can you be calm? When India is burning, you mean to say you should be calm? This is the rail incident. What happened to that? What happened to this rail incident? And I show you how they try to play with the lives of the people. No mention. See, this is a big revelation.
की सरकार थी तो उस समय रेलवे मंत्रालय ने एक सिस्टम डेवलप किया। इस सिस्टम को कहा जाता है TCAS यानी ट्रेन कोलिजन अवॉइडेशन सिस्टम। 2014 में मोदी जी की सरकार आती है, बाद में इसी का नाम बदलकर कवच रख दिया जाता है। कवच के लिए 2019 तक कोई भी कार्रवाई नहीं की जाती। दो ट्रेनों को आपस में दुर्घटनाग्रस्त टकराने से रोकने के लिए जो कवच बनाने का जो सिस्टम है, इसका ठेका सीधे 3 कंपनियों को दे दिया जाता है, जिसका काम होता है इस सिस्टम को डेवलप करना, इसको इंस्टॉल करना और इसका मेंटेनेंस करना। आपको ये जानकर बहुत हैरानी होगी कि पूरे देश में करीबन 68,043 किलोमीटर का रेलवे लाइन है। बहुत गौर से सुनिएगा, बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट चीज है। पूरे देश में रेलवे का जो जाल है, जो किलोमीटर में अगर आप पूरे रेलवे को जोड़ेंगे तो 68,043 किलोमीटर है। और ये जो कवच सिस्टम लगा है वो लगा है केवल 1,445 किलोमीटर में। 68,043 किलोमीटर की रेलवे लाइंस में केवल 1,445 किलोमीटर की रेलवे लाइन में ये कवच सिस्टम को अभी तक 2023 तक इंस्टॉल किया गया है। इसका मतलब ये है कि केवल 2% से भी कम रेलवे में कवच लगे हुए हैं। मतलब अभी भी जो हमारे आसपास 98% जो रेलवे चल रही हैं बिना एंटी कोलिजन सिस्टम के चल रही हैं। 2012 में जब कांग्रेस की सरकार थी तो उस समय रेलवे मंत्रालय ने एक सिस्टम डेवलप किया। इस सिस्टम को कहा जाता है TCAS यानी ट्रेन कोलिजन अवॉइडेशन सिस्टम।
This is such a big thing. See how even in America shootings because of arms. They don't want to speak all that. Now I'll show you here what with Adi Purush. These are the burning issues in India. How can you ignore them?
ये हुआ था रामायण में, ये सिखाना चाहते हो आप अपने बच्चों को। जय जय श्री राम। ये दिखाएंगे आप लोग, ये दिखाएंगे। बात सुनिए ना, ये बात सुनिए। सुनाइए क्या सुनाइए? नहीं आपका ये क्या मजाक? ये पे बात कीजिए, ये पे बात कीजिए, ये पे। आप दिखा रहे हो, आप दिखा रहे हो, आप दिखा रहे हो। आपने बनाने तो आप दिखा रहे हो, लेकिन वो बनाने वाले सहयोगी उतने आप भी हो। इतने लोग देख रहे हो, ये इस तरीके से आपके देवी देवताओं को कह रहा है निकल, तुम्हारे देवी देवताओं को निकल कह रहा है। राम भगवान श्री राम के आगे रावण सीता जी को लेकर के चला जाता और राम जी देखते रह जाते हैं। ये हुआ था रामायण में, ये सिखाना चाहते हो आप अपने बच्चों को। ये लेकर ये दिखाना चाहते हो? धिक्कार है, मूवी में कुछ और धिक्कार है। आप सब लोगों को धिक्कार है अगर ऐसी फिल्मों का आप समर्थन करते हो तो। ये ड्रामा दिखाओगे, ये सिखाओगे अपने बच्चों को। सुनो मेरी बात।
Now on a local dialect.
आदि पुरुष देखने के लिए आदि नहीं, जबरदस्त पुश की जरूरत है। आदि पुरुष देख के गुजरात के साइक्लोन बिपरजॉय का दिमाग भी बैगन में मिल गया। असल प्रभास अंकल, व्हाट्स रॉन्ग विथ यू? कई को हौले पिक्चरा कर रहे तुम? जरा अपने डायरेक्टर को पूछो और कितनी बेइज्जती कराते। तुम्हारे को एक बात मालूम, मेरे गली में एक रामलीला होता, वो रामलीला का रावण ऑल्सो लुक्स मोर रावण देन सैफ अली खान। क्या चिंदे हरकत है। रावण को विराट कोहली का वो 3 लाइन वाला स्ट्रिप हेयर स्टाइल चिपका दिए। असल ऑल इंडिया टिकटॉक एसोसिएशन मिलके बनाया क्या ये फिल्म? MC स्टैन का एक रैप बाकी था इसमें। बादशाह आ गए तो 4 चांद लग जाते थे। पूरे VFX क्या कि कार्टून देखे जैसा लग रहे। वो देख के तो मेरे को वो याद आ गया, बॉब द बिल्डर करके दिखाएंगे। आयुषी फोकस। इंद्रजीत को देखे, साउथ दिल्ली का सस्ता टैटू आर्टिस्ट रहता देखो, उसको भी पीछे छोड़ दिए। डायलॉग्स की बात किए तो असल ये रामायण है या हैदराबादी नवाब है? इंद्रजीत हनुमान की पूंछ को आग लगाता, क्या बोलता मानो? जली ना तेरी। एंड हनुमान इज लाइक, तेरे बाप का तेल है, तेरे बाप की आग है तो जलेगी भी तेरे बाप की। डूड इट्स रामायण। ओल्ड सिटी के चिल्लर पाता कहीं को कर रहे तुम? क्या ठपोरी डायलॉग है। प्रभास अंकल, क्या फूक के एक्टिंग कर रहे तुम? राम कम जीसस ज्यादा दिख रहे। आपको देख के मेरे को याद है कि मेरी खोई हुई बुद्धि नहीं मिल रही। जीसस वाज लॉस्ट इन।
So this is the faith. They don't speak and then we'll come home. What is happening in Manipur? We have to win at home to conquer the world. Mr. Prime Minister, just to inform you, back home, the state of Manipur is engulfed in flames. Manipur is part of India. Why didn't PM Modi spare a few minutes for Manipur before leaving for America? It's a complete failure of the double engine government. There is no end to violence and chaos. Manipur is burning. So we should not show this. What is that journalism is all about? The Union Home Minister, he paid a visit, Mr. Amit Shah, and he clearly stated he warned that those carrying weapons must surrender them. Amit Shah in Manipur, Union Home Minister Amit Shah asked people who have weapons to surrender them before Manipur police combing operations will start from tomorrow, and still it is burning. What is happening? Is it not a serious issue? How come this can be neglected? And see both the present Chief Minister and what they are saying. Manipur's issue should be considered a national issue. CM Biren Singh openly accepts in public that this unfortunate incident happened due to complete failure of law and order and let the central government decide what should be done about it. If the government had determination, a situation like this can be controlled in 3 to 4 days or latest by 1 week. Former Chief Minister and opposition leader Okram Ibobi Singh. Are these not issues? How can you be? And then I have shown you, these are the burning pandemic alarm for a pandemic treaty, enslave humanity. Why they are not being discussed? The crisis of climate breakdown. Are they not issues concerning humanity? Meteoric rise, questions too serious, need close and impartial scrutiny. What's happening? See, urgency for next, see the health secretary. You are barking up wrong tree. How he is trying to create this conflicts of interest? Is it, or these visits only meant for pharma, insurance and those capitalists to create again pandemic fear, suppress them? Lockdown, many small scale, medium scale industries have gone down. Many have lost their jobs. What is happening to India as well as America? Even America, you have seen so many software jobs have gone right from Google and everything. Don't you want to discuss that? Health is a big issue.
I'm going to come to Mr. Rahul Gandhi's visit, recent visit.
I am a fan of Modi, so so I have to say that.
Prime Minister Modi, for whom the sky is not the limit. Wow.
Well, I also commended India on the response to COVID and how, you know, India was very efficiently dealt with it.
The potential of India is enormous.
But they have this foundation with the Aadhaar system that means they can do things that most governments around the world can't do. I think India could really show the world how to do it right.
It's good. It's positive to hear, but nothing concerning the basic issues which people are facing. This is where I was just trying to show you. And then
long believed that the relationship between the United States and India is will be one of the defining relationships of the 21st century. Two proud nations whose love of freedom secured our independence, bound by the same words in our Constitution. First three words, we the people. The enduring ties and shared values between our people and the shared responsibility as global leaders to tackle the great issues of our time together.
स्वागत है प्रधानमंत्री जी आपका पुनः आपका लौटने के लिए। मैंने हमेशा विश्वास किया है कि संयुक्त राज्य अमेरिका
Why I'm trying to stress is we the people, that is what we say. The constitution says both countries. But what about the we the people? Did you discuss on the floor of parliament when you started this tour, Mr. Prime Minister Narendra Modi? Similar questions are being asked for Biden too. Did you discuss it on the floor of the Senate?
Friends, आज व्हाइट हाउस में शानदार स्वागत समारोह के एक प्रकार से ये भारत के 140 करोड़ देशवासियों का सम्मान है, 140 करोड़ देशवासियों का गौरव है। ये सम्मान अमेरिका में रहने वाले 4 मिलियन से अधिक भारतीय मूल के लोगों का भी सम्मान है।
I am a fan of Modi, so.
Friends,
the President meets with Prime Minister Modi, then the protection of the Muslim minority in a majority Hindu India, that's something worth mentioning. Because, and by the way, if I had a conversation with Prime Minister Modi, who I know well, part of my argument would be that if you do not protect the rights of ethnic minorities in India, then there is a strong possibility India at some point starts pulling apart. And we've seen what happens when you start getting those kinds of large internal conflicts. So that would be contrary to the interests not just of Muslim India, but also Hindu India. So I think it's important to be able to talk about these things honestly. You're never going to have things are never going to be as clean as you'd like.
Right. Mr. Obama, you should talk honestly. What is happening to ethnic minorities in Pakistan, Afghanistan, Bangladesh, Mr. Obama? You don't want to speak on that? And because of your rhetoric like this, I have been telling you the other side coin of the story, how it is being used by the politicians. You can't blame them when nothing is being told about Ramayanam. You are keeping quiet. That's really something which really beats my intelligence. I'm still not able to understand why you are trying to not to highlight that. So this is the other side of the story. Huge protest in USA. The real welcome of Modi in USA that the Godi media won't cover. Massive protests against Modi in the US against Modi's autocratic rule in India. First ever PM in India history to face backlash. Fine. We're just trying to show you.
The Prime Minister of the Republic of India.
there have been even more momentous development in another AI, America and India. To celebrate the bond between world's two great democracies, India and the United States. And there is one behind me who a tribute to Mahatma Gandhi and Martin Luther King Jr. I also wish to pay heartfelt tribute to one of them, Congressman John Lewis. We are home to all faiths in the world, and we celebrate all of them. The United States has become one of our most important defense partners. And respect for sovereignty and territorial integrity. We all must do what we can to stop the bloodshed and human suffering. Concerns of our partnership. We share a vision of a free, open, and inclusive Indo-Pacific. That the African Union be given full membership of G20. We shall demonstrate that democracies matter and democracies deliver. I said that our relationship is primed for a momentous future. That future is today. Distinguished members of this honor, God bless America, Jai Hind, long live India-US friendship. Thank you.
Narendra.
And then the flip side, there was a good bonhomie during the party which went on there. Somehow I have some problems here with the this was during the party there. I don't know. I'm sorry. There has been some problem with the audio here. I've shown you this. I don't want to show that rhetoric. I don't know, somehow this sound. This is after addressing when people were enthusiastic to and this is what happened in 1961 when Honorable
On November 6, 1961, Newport is the first meeting place in America of Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru and President John F. Kennedy. The Prime Minister's daughter, Mrs. Indira Gandhi, is warmly welcomed by President Kennedy, and Ambassador to India, John Galbraith, greets a familiar friend. Vice President and Mrs. Johnson, Secretary of State and Mrs. Rusk, and other high dignitaries are present to greet the Prime Minister and his daughter. The cordial atmosphere of the greeting reflects the great affection and high regard in which the American nation holds the Prime Minister and his daughter.
So, Prime Minister, we welcome you here to the shores of this country as a friend, as a great world leader, as one who has, in his own life and times, stood for those basic aspirations which the United States stands for today. Prime Minister, we're glad to see you again.
Mr. President, Mrs. Kennedy, I feel deeply honored and happy being here again and to receive this great welcome from you, more particularly not for the formal side of it, but for the friendship which animated your words. You have been good enough in the past also to refer to my country in terms which evoked a warm response in our hearts. I am grateful to you, sir, for your warm welcome, and to Mrs. Kennedy also.
Later that evening, the Prime Minister and his daughter arrive at the White House to be greeted by President and Mrs. Kennedy, who have arranged an intimate and informal dinner during which the two world leaders and the two First Ladies will continue to become better acquainted. Indian Foreign Secretary M.J. Desai and Secretary of State Dean Rusk are present for the talks. Several hours later, the President and Prime Minister emerged to tell the press that the free and very frank discussions had progressed well and covered a wide range of topics, from the protection of free and independent states to the control of nuclear testing. The atmosphere, cordial, gay, and colorful, is a further indication of the high regard in which the nation's capital holds the Prime Minister. On the next day of the Prime Minister's visit, Mr. Nehru is guest of the National Press Club, where several hundred correspondents of the national and world press have gathered to greet and listen to one of the world's most newsworthy figures. During the traditional question and answer period after lunch, Mr. Nehru's replies cover a wide range of topics.
There is no neutralist bloc. Secondly, I am not the leader of anybody. If you like, my people have done me the honor of putting me in a very responsible position in India, so I can claim to speak on behalf of India.
Later that afternoon, hundreds of well-known New Yorkers await the Prime Minister at the residence of New York's Mayor Wagner, who presents the distinguished visitor a key to New York City. Mr. Nehru soon finds a few brief hours far away from the world of reality as he enters the magic kingdom of Disneyland, a fantasy park, a replica of an early American.
So this is what I just wanted to show you what happened in 61 when then Prime Minister visited. And this is what I've been trying to tell you, the other side of the coin. And I just wanted to play this also. They have sent me the latest one, and I'll just try to quickly go through this. The Honorable Prime Minister's the entire address of this I'll just try to show you.
A new initiative for critical and emerging technologies. Our knowledge partnership will serve humanity, inclusive Indo-Pacific, the United Nations. I am reminded of a poem that I once wrote. आसमान में सिर उठाकर, आसमान में सिर उठाकर, घने बादलों को चीरकर, रोशनी का संकल्प ले, अभी तो सूरज उगा है। अभी तो सूरज उगा है। दृढ़ निश्चय के साथ चलकर, दृढ़ निश्चय के साथ चलकर, हर मुश्किल को पार कर, घोर अंधेरे को मिटाते, घोर अंधेरे को मिटाने अभी तो सूरज उगा है। If I were to say it in English, it would be rising its head in the skies, piercing through the dense clouds with the promise of light. The sun has just risen, armed with a deep resolve, overcoming all the odds to dispel the forces of darkness. The sun had just risen. Mr. Speaker and distinguished members, we come from different circumstances and history, but we are united by a common vision and by a common destiny. When our partnership progresses, economic resilience increases.
So this is something which I just wanted to show you, the narrative of the Indian Prime Minister. So the Prime Ministers keep visiting, and I wanted to show you the backlash of
President.
I refuse to call him Mahatma. I've never called him Mahatma. I will not call him Mahatma. For me, he's just Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi. I don't think we should deify someone so much. If Sri Rama can be criticized, why should Gandhi not be criticized? Is Gandhi bigger than Rama, who he worshipped? He's not. And he was a politician, not a saint. He was a politician, not a saint. Remember that.
So, and the last one also,
I am a fan
because
of
other side of coin, when they say
President.
minorities and all, and here they are showing, I don't know the name. She was present when Mr. Rahul Gandhi was there in the meeting, and now here she is protesting. Real Hindus don't lynch when Modi was on his visit to America.
इसके अंदर वे लोग भी प्रधानमंत्री थे जो कहते थे कि इस देश के संसाधनों पर मुसलमानों का अधिकार है। क्या इस देश का हिंदू यहाँ पर झक मारेगा? क्या तरीका है ये? क्या तरीका है? आपकी सरकार है, अब आप सिर्फ हिंदुओं की भलाई करेंगे? नहीं, बशर्ते अगला पक्ष शांति से रहेगा तो मुझे प्रसन्नता होगी उसके विकास करने में योगदान देने में। और अगर अगला पक्ष शांति से नहीं रहेगा तो क्या करेंगे? अगर शांति से नहीं रहेगा तो उसको शांति से रहना सिखाएंगे। बंदूक के दम पर, मार के दम पर, जो जिस भाषा को समझेगा उस भाषा से समझाएंगे।
This is what I was trying to tell you. I will replay it. The other side of the coin, the appeasement of minorities or vote bank politics, which has resulted in the other side of the coin story, which has been exploited by again the same political parties. Now the same political parties are calm when Ram issue is really raging controversy across India. Where are they? Is it electoral politics? Is it only the rich 1% industrialists or capitalists for whom, whether it is America or India, works? The elected representatives, do they work? only in their favor. What about the majority people? As Mr. Biden clearly states, we the people. What is happening in America too? Why so many jobs are being laid off? Why life has become so expensive, Mr. Biden? Why so many people are getting killed with those arms? Criminal activities on the rise in America, equally in India. What's happening in India too? The crime rate has gone up. People are losing jobs. Is it not because of the false policies in the name of COVID, making the entire world cave in the name of health, because you have created such fear? And then what does vaccines contain? What does the remdesivir contain? You don't want to answer. How genuine the tests were? You don't want to. There is no accountability and transparency. Just create fear. Now, instead of arms race, you just create those tensions in between Pakistan, India, and different regions. Sell arms, manufacture arms, sell arms. Commissions. Those commissions will go to the political parties by the same industrialists. Now they thought, after COVID-19, health is the biggest one through pharmacies and insurance, vaccines, medicines, drugs. They can have more commissions, and this way they can have the entire population of the world under this thing. Is this not what you are trying to do? That is why we said those wonderful democracies, you should be transparent and accountable. Discuss everything from Panchayat to Lok Sabha in India. Similarly, we want everything to be discussed in America too, so that people have a say. If you say, we the people for whom we both work. And that is why I said, when Obama was trying to speak about minorities and all, what is happening in India, you don't understand. See this.
इसके अंदर वे लोग भी प्रधानमंत्री थे जो कहते थे कि इस देश के संसाधनों पर मुसलमानों का अधिकार है। क्या इस देश का हिंदू यहां पर झक मारेगा? क्या तरीका है ये? क्या तरीका है? आपकी सरकार है, अब आप सिर्फ हिंदुओं की भलाई करेंगे? नहीं, बशर्ते अगला पक्ष शांति से रहेगा तो मुझे प्रसन्नता होगी उसके विकास करने में योगदान देने में। और अगर अगला पक्ष शांति से नहीं रहेगा तो क्या करेंगे? अगर शांति से नहीं रहेगा तो उसको शांति से रहना सिखाएंगे। बंदूक के दम पर, मार के दम पर, जो जिस भाषा को समझेगा उस भाषा से समझाएंगे।
So I want to play this again.
I am a fan of Modi, so I have to say that.
Prime Minister Modi, for whom the sky is not the limit. Wow.
Well, I also commended India on the response to COVID and how, you know, India was very efficiently dealt with it.
The potential of India is enormous.
But they have this foundation with the Aadhaar system that means they can do things that most governments around the world can't do. I think India could really show the world how to do it right.
Now, this is what your industrialists say, and I just wanted to show that Biden wala. Okay, I have received this from someone from America.
Investigating in a girl child lifts up the entire family. I believe that. Investigating in a girl child lifts up the entire family. I believe that. Investigating in a girl child.
Maybe I think this is investing in a girl's child, but I don't know whether how true it is that. I've just played because we are independent. We are not here to, I just wanted to show the
friends.
The President meets with Prime Minister Modi, then the protection of the Muslim minority in a majority Hindu India, that's something worth mentioning. Because, and by the way, if I had a conversation with Prime Minister Modi, who I know well, part of my argument would be that if you do not protect the rights of ethnic minorities in India, then there is a strong possibility India at some point starts pulling apart. And we've seen what happens when you start getting those kinds of large internal conflicts. So that would be contrary to the interests not just of Muslim India, but also Hindu India. So I think it's important to be able to talk about these things honestly. You're never going to have things are never going to be as clean as you'd like.
Right. Mr. Obama, your own party is there at the helm. Now your own, the so-called...
I am a fan of Modi, so, so I have to say that.
Prime Minister Modi, for whom the sky is not the limit.
Well, I also commended India on the response to COVID and how, India was very efficiently dealt with it.
The potential of India is enormous.
But they have this foundation with the Aadhaar system that means they can do things that most governments around the world can't do. I think India could really show the world how to do it right.
Mr. Obama, your own government is there now. Your own industrialists.
I am a fan of Modi,
We are not,
so
we are not saying anything here. So for them, business matters, money matters. So you are trying to speak something else and they are saying something else. So that is the reason why I just wanted to again show this and then wind up this show, the positivities and whatever it is. Nehru too, he has his own daughter. What can we say? Accompanying him.
On November 6, 1961, Newport is the first meeting place in America of Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru and President John F. Kennedy. The Prime Minister's daughter, Mrs. Indira Gandhi, is warmly welcomed by President Kennedy, and Ambassador to India, John Galbraith, greets a familiar friend. Vice President and Mrs. Johnson, Secretary of State and Mrs. Rusk, and other high dignitaries are present to greet the Prime Minister and his daughter. The cordial atmosphere of the greeting reflects the great affection and high regard in which the American nation holds the Prime Minister and his daughter.
So, Prime Minister, we welcome you here to the shores of this country as a friend, as a great world leader, as one who has, in his own life and times, stood for those basic aspirations which the United States stands for today. Prime Minister, we're glad to see you again.
Mr. President, Ms. Kennedy, I feel deeply honored and happy being here again and to receive this great welcome from you, more particularly not for the formal side of it, but for the friendship which animated your words. You have been good enough in the past also to refer to my country in terms which evoked a warm response in our hearts. I am grateful to you, sir, for your warm welcome, and to Mrs. Kennedy also.
Now the latest, I'll just try to show you this and then we say bye.
Prime Minister of the Republic of India.
There have been even more momentous development in another AI, America and India. To celebrate the bond between world's two great democracies, India and the United States. And there is one behind me who a tribute to Mahatma Gandhi and Martin Luther King Jr. I also wish to pay heartfelt tribute to one of them, Congressman John Lewis. We are home to all faiths in the world, and we celebrate all of them. The United States has become one of our most important defense partners. And respect for sovereignty and territorial integrity. We all must do what we can to stop the bloodshed and human suffering. Vital concerns of our partnership. We share a vision of a free, open, and inclusive Indo-Pacific. That the African Union be given full membership of G20. We shall demonstrate that democracies matter and democracies deliver. I said that our relationship is primed for a momentous future. That future is today. Distinguished members of this honor, God bless America, Jai Hind, long live India-US friendship. Thank you.
I'm stopping at that now. Long live India and US friendship. Certainly, both are functional democracies, people participatory, constitutional and functional democracies. War, arms, commissions to political parties, etc. versus fear of pandemic, pharmacy, medicines, vaccines, drugs, insurance companies, again commissions to political parties. Is this what we want? We, the people, should celebrate the sufferings of a common man, his day-to-day life, his earnings, at home, his life. How is his life? Is he being able to get 3 square meals a day, at least 2, nutritious food, free from all hygienic stuff, potable water? Is he in good health, good basic amenities, right from toilet to the drinking water and the drains and the roads? Can he breathe fresh air? You have such type of environment now. The climate is changing, climate crisis. Why it is becoming too hot or too cold? Why there is cloud outburst, floods? Why our lakes, water bodies are being encroached in the name of development? Why we are turning our green areas, reserve areas like in Hyderabad, rich forest area is being converted into concrete jungle? Why is that we are allowing pharmacy and garments industry which pollute right from water to air, polluting everything? And why is that we are moving away from that animal-based agriculture to such chemical-based agriculture with hybridization of seeds? Is it not going to destroy the environment, the health of every citizen, the farmers, and the yield with such hybridized seeds? Is not going to affect your health when you take such type of food devoid of nutrition? It exposes you to many other diseases. And in the name of that, again, you put medicines, those medicines which are not going to cure your problem. Those medicines are manufactured by polluting your water to air, ground to air. You need such type of medicines. And again, you have seen for a disease which has got 99.99% recovery on its own, you are advising vaccines. That too under trial vaccines. No liability and no compensation in the name of emergency use authorization. How long will you create this fear? Again, you see WHO chief and even the head, Indian principal secretary health trying to whip up that pandemic fear. You have seen how America is suffering, how the citizens of America are suffering, how they are losing jobs. The same thing is happening in India. The farmer produces, he is not getting any rate for his produce, price for his produce. But when, as a consumer, when I am going to pay, I am paying huge amounts. Then who are those middlemen? Are they not hoarders? The same in India and America. Should these governments work for such type of hoarders? Everything expensive. Public transport expensive. Not in the realms of common man public transport now these days. In Hyderabad, we wanted metro rail. They don't want to give you. Metro rail is being developed in such a forest area where again they are going to create that real estate business. Invest huge amounts in irrigation for the sake of water. At the same time, in villages, you are converting all agriculture lands into real estates. Destroying hills and hillocks. Is it not for this reason the climate has changed? It has become too hot and hotter. You cannot survive without air conditionings. And what is that pollution which air conditions will give? Are you not aware? Why do you need artificial agriculture, greenhouse agriculture in India, when you have such diversified soils, Kashmir to Kanyakumari? In whose interest do we discuss all these things? If you say it is a bilateral meeting, why banks are collapsing, economics ruined, common man suffering? That's it for you. These DRTSPR channels are very independent because we do shows as per rule of law, constitution invoking evidential act, no enmity against individual nor animosity against parties or organizations. Issue as per rule of law, constitution invoking evidential act. So long live Indo-US friendship. Let every citizen in both the countries survive in a better way with good health, with absolute prosperity, which results in this peace and eternal happiness. At the same time, protecting the environment in and around, the resources, water to air, to see that they are not polluted in the name of development by having such pharmacy or garments or those nuclear type of industries which will pollute everyone. And again, no wars, no arms, and no fear in the name of pandemic, wherein pharmacy insurance will start investing in these drugs, again create that euphoria wherein these commissions will go to political parties and they become neo-rich, so that 1% of the society, whether it is in America or India, controls the entire population. Is this what we want? Because the resources belong to every citizen. So for that reason, the governments should function in a transparent and accountable way, not for that 1% who are trying to usurp all the resources and fund these political parties. At the end, that will result in just making mockery of people participatory constitutional democracies. Thank you very much. Do support DRTSPR channel, Citizen DRTSPR channel, and Environment People DRTSPR channels. Same time, we have BitChute and Rumble DRTSPR channels. Do support, subscribe, and share. And I need all your support so that this independent platform continues eternally in larger public interest. Namaste.